Story. HOA scheduled a wedding at my place, so I demolished the venue they never had rights to. The land had been in my family for 3 generations. A quiet acre of rolling green tucked behind a grove of oaks. It wasn't much, but it was our chardonnay, paid in sweat and sacrifice. I'd always dreamed of building a small cabin there, a place to escape the noise of the world. That dream shattered when Karen, the HOA president with a smile like broken glass, decided my land was her stage. Karen was the kind of woman who weaponized politeness. She'd knock on your door with cookies, then lecture you about your lawn's unacceptable shade of green. When she announced her engagement to Tom, a soft-spoken accountant who seemed perpetually apologetic, the neighborhood braced for her wedding plans. I didn't expect those plans to involve my property. One morning, I found a flyer in my mailbox. Karen and Tom's dream wedding June 14th, Oak Grove Acres. My land. No permission. No discussion. Just Karen's audacity, assuming she could claim what wasn't hers. I confronted her that evening. She stood on her porch, arms crossed, her platinum blonde hair catching the porch light like a halo she didn't deserve. "It's just one day," she said, voice dripping with condescension. "The HOA voted, and we agreed your land is perfect. You'll be compensated with exposure." Exposure? I laughed, bitter and sharp. "Karen, you don't own my land. You can't book it like a community pool." Her eyes narrowed. "We'll see about that." Days later, I got a letter from the HOA citing some obscure bylaw about community use of private property. It was nonsense, but Karen had rallied her loyalist neighbors too scared or too tired to fight her. Tom stopped by once, mumbling apologies, but he didn't push back. I hired a lawyer, who confirmed the HOA had no legal standing. Still, Karen's crew rolled in with decorations. White chairs, a floral arch, a stage for her perfect day. My land looked like a Pinterest board exploded. I tried reasoning, then threatening. Nothing worked. Karen's entitlement was a force of nature, and the wedding was a week away. That's when I met Clara, an unexpected ally. She was Tom's aunt, a wiry woman with a smoker's rasp and a no-nonsense glare. She'd moved to town for the wedding but hated Karen's circus. Over coffee, Clara revealed a twist. Tom had confided he didn't want this wedding. He loved Karen but felt trapped by her demands. Clara urged me to act. "Don't let her steamroll you, kid," she said. "She's done it to everyone." That night, I made my choice. I called a demolition crew, friends who owed me a favor. At dawn, 2 days before the wedding, bulldozers roared to life. The venue Karen's stolen dream crumbled. Chairs snapped like kindling. The arch collapsed into a heap of roses and wire. I stood there, heart pounding, as my land became a battlefield of splintered wood and dust. It wasn't just about the land anymore. It was about reclaiming what was mine from someone who'd never learned the word no. Karen arrived an hour later, her SUV screeching to a halt. She screamed, her voice raw with rage, as Tom trailed behind, pale and silent. "You monster!" she shrieked, pointing at me. "You ruined everything." I stood my ground. "You had no right, Karen. This is my land, not your playground." Tom tried to mediate, his voice shaking, but Karen turned on him. "You're useless," she spat. The venom in her words made him flinch, and for a moment, I saw the man Clara described trapped, shrinking under her control. Then came the twist I hadn't seen coming. Tom walked away, not to calm her, not to plead, but to leave. He got in his car, drove off, and didn't look back. Karen's screams turned to sobs, her perfect facade cracking. The neighbors, drawn by the noise, watched in stunned silence. Clara appeared, lighting a cigarette, and muttered, "About time he grew a spine." The wedding was canceled, not because of me, but because Karen's tyranny had finally pushed Tom too far. Days later, I learned Karen had left town, humiliated. My land was mine again, though scarred. I started clearing the debris, planning that cabin once more. But the victory felt hollow. Karen's entitlement had torn through lives mine, Tom's, even her own. I wondered if she'd ever see her fault, or if she'd just find another stage to claim. The neighborhood still whispers about that day. Some call me a hero, others, a villain. I don't care. I protected what was mine, but at what cost? What do you think? Where does justice end and vengeance begin?